Meda said that then I wish I'm bre na mushe give us trending news. Na name so de someone great you ba medeba somo no enya sem ketu akra. Na what is say Ghana Defense Minister ye honorable Dominic Nitiwu wa fre eye asojafo no empanyimfo no ene o madi nkomo efa ye Niger kon na omo ebekọ no ho ene nei bretu bam de munsem ebeba beso mo san so ena sesem no ka sen so de Niger so eye omo so deploy anase omama asrafo no akọ ginagina ye Benin ene Nigeria eye borders ne so enti abusuane de entokwa ne de na chese kian ne kin ba na ebeba so san so ena doman hene osagefo osi ade ye agiman bedu ya otoso mienu ene ono so bekasa fa ye $250 million a Bank of Ghana say omudi besi omo new headquarters na honti abusua we ene ensem no bi na mede be so mo say give us trending news mama ka say give us industries one madama eno maso masia nei mede nkonkonsen e be so mo omudi give us mesha be mo bi onya malaria typhoid jaundice ebustu immune system wonu ma to na se wontimi nidi nsu a Messi also be pay give us mesha ni bi na wanonom e dia mame me pa cho bebre me channel ye na subscribe ma me wate like share never comment no so ebra bell notification so ya na do send me so send be the videos to so a obenya bi a share me dey e the break you ba oba pajuwa
give us that now pa
be enfama mo na Ghana Defense Minister ya ni din e the honorable Dominic Nitiwu e na me no ka say de wa frefre ye asrafo mpanyimfo no bi e no makwa koye eye nhyiamude so ati ase no makokasa efa ye Niger tokwa no anase ku no a esi wo ho no no ye nya be kai a Ecowas ema ye Niger otumentum bi se omonhwe no omofa onkane president ya ne din edi Mohamed Bazoum no omonya no omofa nsi akunya no so sanse enya sa na emra no esie na Ecowas enso eka ye no Niger man no emfie no na nam so ma Ecowas enso kira omo se wo mo di asrafo ebetu ahye ye Niger man no so etianam no ka say di ye honorable Dominic Nitiwu enso afrefre ye asrafo mpanyimfo no eno makwa akoye meeting se enche bia na omubuom kritem akopiem ewo Niger yenhwe bimra
services in Ghana here. Major General Thomas Opompepra, who is the Chief of Army Staff, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Frederick Bequin, and the Chief of Naval Staff, Rear Admiral Issa Yakubu. On behalf of the President of the Republic and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the government and people of Ghana, let me say that I'm extremely glad to be invited here at the extraordinary meeting of the Ecowas Committee of Chiefs of Defense Staff to speak to you on a very important matter such as this. My dear generals, officers, our nation, our various nations, that is our sub-region, Ecowas, again is facing crisis that we thought over the last 15 years had disappeared. When all 50 members of the Ecowas countries had chosen the path of democracy and had civilian governments, Ecowas became the toast of the international community and the investor world. Remember that in Africa, our region in the past had been developed by coup d'etats and military takeovers, whilst other regions did not have same. The southern and eastern countries had relatively been very peaceful, and whilst we were creating issues for ourselves, they were busily, ladies and gentlemen, attracting investments. The result is that our people were there for the West. But today, our nations within West Africa are sliding again into the era that we thought would never come. That is why it is clear to all of us that the security of the sub-region is going through one of the most difficult moments after the challenges in the 60s, the 70s, and particularly the 90s, when rebel incursions destabilized parts of the West African sub-region. And in recent times, the scourge of terrorist armed groups and violent extremist groups have rocked the Sahel region of West Africa. As stated already, the populations of these countries have been affected by these activities, and the people are paying heavy price. Loss of human lives, deterioration of critical infrastructure, school dropouts are abandoned, lingering humanitarian crisis, and states are gradually losing large tracts of their territory to these unfortunate incidents. Who now control and carry out various criminal activities and continue to conduct illicit cross-border trafficking. Ecowas can only be weaker by these acts. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, as you are all aware, 4 of our member states are now facing sanctions for resorting to unconstitutional change of government, which contradicts the Ecowas Protocol on Good Governance and Democracy. It will be recalled that following the extraordinary summit of the Authority of Heads of State and Government of the Ecowas in Abuja, Nigeria, on the 10th of August 2023, convened sequel to the recent illegal detention of President Mohamed Bazoum by members of the Presidential Guard in the Republic of Niger. On July 26, 2023, ECOWAS deployed all diplomatic efforts to resolve the crisis. But as already stated, the head of the military junta in Niger remained defiant after the expiration of the one-week ultimatum given for the restoration of constitutional order in Niger. Ladies and gentlemen, during the last ordinary meeting of the ECOWAS heads of state and government on the political situation in Niger, which was held on the 10th of August in Abuja, our heads of state and government directed the Committee of Chiefs of Defense Staff to immediately activate the ECOWAS standby force with all its elements for the deployment to restore constitutional order in the Republic of Niger. The heads of states and government issued a communique which was signed by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of Nigeria, who is their chairman. And they reaffirmed that President Mohamed Bazoum remains the legitimate elected president and head of state of the Republic of Niger, and he is duly recognized by ECOWAS, the African Union, and the international community. My dear generals, permit me to make a quote from the communique for the sake of our meeting and for the very reason why you are here. Article 3 of the communique states that the authority of the heads of state and the government hereby direct the Committee of Chiefs of Defense Staff to activate the ECOWAS standby force with all its elements. The authority of heads of state and government hereby order the deployment of ECOWAS standby force to restore constitutional order in the Republic of Niger. Diplomatic and other channels shall remain open for the restoration of constitutional order through peaceful means. All member states, and let me repeat, all member states, the president of the ECOWAS Commission, and the heads of all institutions of the community shall take necessary measures to ensure the full implementation of this decision. All member states shall take the necessary orders to ensure the full implementation of this decision. ECOWAS calls on UMOA and all other regional bodies to implement the decision. ECOWAS calls on the African Union to endorse all the decisions taken by ECOWAS on the situation in Niger. Further call on all partner countries and institutions, including the United Nations, to support ECOWAS in its efforts to ensure a quick restoration of constitutional order in conformity with normative instruments. Ladies and gentlemen, my dear generals, you and your dedicated and loyal troops today stand on the threshold of history as professionals who are being tasked to help the people of West Africa to enable them continue to elect their leaders through free, fair, and transparent general elections. I am of the firm belief that you, who form part of the most experienced soldiers within our sub-region, will put in place a strategic plan that will boost the confidence of our people and restore hope within our various countries. The spirit of our people in West Africa is with you as we meet here to put the plan in place, which will meet the ECOWAS directives. Without trying to make a roll call, I am glad that the Chief of Defense Staff of Nigeria himself, the chairman, is here. The Chief of Defense Staff of Ghana, the host, is here. The Chief of Defense Staff of Ivory Coast is present in this meeting. The Chief of Defense Staff of Senegal is present in this meeting. The Chief of Defense Staff of Togo is present in this meeting. The Chief of Defense Staff of Benin is present in this meeting. The Chief of Defense Staff of Liberia is present in this meeting. The Chief of Defense Staff of Sierra Leone is present in this meeting. And the Chief of Defense Staff of Gambia is present in this meeting. Of course, ladies and gentlemen of the media, it's clear that Mali, who has a flag there, is not present. Guinea is not present. Niger is not present. And Burkina Faso is not present. These are the countries I mentioned were under sanctions and have been suspended. That is the reason they are not present. Of course, our brothers from Guinea-Bissau and Cape Verde have genuine excuses why they are not there. They are not here. Your presence alone sounds and gives me a powerful message to the world. You are united in carrying out the directives of the heads of state and governments of ECOWAS, and that after today and tomorrow's meeting, you will put in place a plan to ensure that the standby is activated and that democracy will be restored in Niger. If presidential guards in Guinea and Niger, I will use the word, take hostage their president, nobody, and let me repeat, nobody in West Africa is safe.
Enti abusia wei ene ensem a eye Ghana Defense Minister eye onimonyamfo Dominic Nitiwu enso ede atudwa na yeda so ejina Niger ensensemi hu na me no ka se de okopiem ewo Niger enso a eye wo mo nso ayi asrafo se wo mo enkogina eye Benin ene Nigeria borders no so se ne be ya wo emma eye Ghana ne other countries ni bi nso etimi embembonra eye Niger man ni mu ni nyina efa ku ya ECOWAS enso ahye omo se omo ampene amfa eye omo mampanyin no ensisu a wo mo ede asrafo beto ahye omo so no se de Niger nso aboabo mo a eye asrafo no bi nso akoja ye Benin na afa nso Nigeria borders so ye hwe bimra
believed here. Eyewitness accounts suggest that Niger troops are being positioned in the town of Gaya near the border with Benin, whereas officially the ECOWAS bloc has announced that West African bloc, it may send forces in Niger. So there isn't any clarity on this yet.
Ecowas has not, of course, accepted it.
Right.
Local media is reporting otherwise, and a senior official told army chiefs meeting in Ghana that the bloc is ready to intervene if diplomatic efforts to reverse the coup fails. That's what they've officially announced.
Right, absolutely. And the West African army chiefs are meeting in Ghana to discuss the details here of the standby force. Niger military officers deposed President Mohamed Bazoum on the 26th of July. They have defied calls from the United Nations, Ecowas, Western powers to reinstate him. And this prompted West African heads of state to order the standby force to be assembled.
Exactly. Now, Niger has strategic importance beyond West Africa. It is a hub for foreign troops involved in the fight against Islamist insurgents in the Sahel region. The country also possesses a huge uranium and oil reserves. Now, that is essentially also why it is a strategic point and country for the West. Western countries fear that the junta could follow the lead of neighboring Mali, where the military government threw out French troops.
Now, the fear here is they instead invited in mercenaries from Russia's Wagner group in Niger's capital, Niamey. Large crowds have taken part in protests against the Ecowas and in favor of the coup leaders. Many reject the idea of an outside intervention to reinstate the elected president and the civilian government. Now, France, which is Niger's former colonial ruler, has denied the junta's accusation that it was seeking to destabilize the country or that it had violated its airspace. Paris says it supported Ecowas efforts to restore constitutional order. French troops, along with US, German and Italian forces, are present in Niger as part of international efforts to combat the Islamist insurgencies here.
Elle a même augmenté dans tout l'espace. C'est comme
enti abusia wei ene ensem a sisi am no kasa die efiri Niger so eba na me firi Niger na me mepiem e wo man Ghana ha se ya eye do man hene osagefo osiade ye agiman bedu ye otoso mienu ene wa bekasa afaye $250 million bia eye Bank of Ghana so HS on person de see eye head office no na no ene wa cha wo si there be scan esodo there be ska we die aska ya ye se Dawson massa yesa office no nkoa no sanse be kai a enche ene ekobo obesia e wo IMF kra no eno bepem na sika no ya ma yefa akafa yefa no enya medruye na eno ena na natural wo se sika we no enke betimi e de ama eye enka ahemfu no bi na komo de asiesie eye wo mu nkro no bi na so e de bi Ghana de aha e ka hunu no a na sebe ye bobobo nsi abusia ensem ne de bebre no a ena na nanso ehweagu ye hwe bi mra
ade ba ko bi ekoso ewo Ghana ha esese odika asemi idika na wane beka maka yera regional minister ade share wo ha Ghana onchare be ya akwa huhiahiem ye kwaji sika IMF $3 billion sa $3 billion ya kwaji bre ya bre and some first tranche oba second one cry umpire so be do be ba na mpai bona yeguzu a ye resa ba ne benya na obetimi ade aboye nyina ye hobra ade bi aba Ghana no krenye o ya re hose njina Bank of Ghana ye ni se isika krabra nyina no wo no hwa so de mai o ya be independent ade bia ni wo a Ghana for abono for kan we independent ne ma woni me abono for ne Ghana for no ye de mai Bank of Ghana yete ye baba are de ba aboka 60 billion Ghana cedis no ye no tin ko ba o boka 60 billion ati ba ko na ntiem yem asem de ordinary na yegusu yenye sasa no yanka nwe yete ya be Bank of Ghana bosiana yakobo na IMF no uche mudum yenu a Bank of Ghana nkoa no ode mu 250 million ode ba ko okosi dane na benini na jese be shebi asinji ni e baba na be yo $250 million abebe de osi dane e bank wa betinam no media mentrasie na nanom no preni ye ntiasie onye yi $250 million say the bro a regional house of chiefs and then regions wɔ Ghana say the $10 million a bra regional minister so wɔ here safa boy ho bra until don't be find the my and man can the other regions in England then the Bank of Ghana on kwa ultimately was a me see Daniel Edisa na no kreni ade o de aminim maka sabampe ho asamanka ene dem me dem mo bibi kura na be buku aka mba buku na ba hu say ani abre aboa ne kan ni bra $250 million say yade ye sabi omranti abebe ko school ba na be nya adwuma nyo yade sai sika no de to hosa nya papem ni emfa nya bibi maba enti me nya bibi kase e emma be emma mfa so ma emma na bia enko fie bim bia enko domase bia enko sunyane bia enko brekum bia enko na ekeka ho amrenti enti me mo ye ba sre man panyini Bank of Ghana onye independent sa on frabe no ne bentena kokom na ba maka bibi papa bi enkyere na sa asem ne de ya bo njoso so ye kope bosia na ono nko a men kasa bosia ne bi na ode oyo na sika na obi enya Ghana fonti no ohima sa asem ye ka ne kese na nanom bunu region as of key ya bo njoso na ya hu say ya de hye no so ba ka bi $250 million and then can start in the region here then for now even Greater Accra another fun ban fama no region $250 million kadia de bayan kapono bayede obesisa and abanchemu tukura be maye and abanchemu aduonu ka obehu say besisa bono amabia ababe sa de ne de ye besre say abane onhwem as a matter of priority we are appealing to the government of the Republic of Ghana $250 million kra be maba kwane maba nyedem fancy be si awie na mo be ne ban hwehwem ne enhu sika kro ne yie na ye mu bi yakoma no abasoro no enyede onkofom na ye nyina ye ntimi nkoso
ejabusianfo we ene ensemo a eye doman hene osagefo osiaje yo agiman bedu otoso mienu enso ede atudwana na pia o we de ne kan na ne wadama waka no aba ye bre papa o mayimu yesi ni scan so sika yesi ye kwakote e di akwakosi Bank of Ghana head office on we na ani ehwe hefa udwe ho a se be producer se ne ye koso e wo mayimu abusanfo Givers Industries one madama e no mo so masen e ma me Givers trending news no e be so mo omni Givers me sha ba ye mo bi onya malaria typhoid jaundice ebustium system wonu ma to na se wontimi de nsu a me sure so be Givers me trending bi no ano no e di amame the patcho be bre me channel ya no subscribe ma why like share if I comment no so ebra bell notification so ya na do say mia so ma me so na be ya the videos to so a obenya bi ahye medin e the brace you ba oba pa juwa
Give us that, don't know. Pa.